What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a quick trick tip on how to do a kickflip. One of the most iconic skate tricks, I guess you could say. Whether you're a beginner trying to learn your first kickflip or you're pretty good at them but you want to make them a little better, this video is going to be good for you, so stick around to the end. Alright, let's get into it. A quick thing before the video starts is I'm not very good at explaining things. I just realized as I'm editing this, if some things might be a little confusing, just, this is only my second tutorial, so I'll get better as they go on. But yeah, that's a quick message before the video starts. So with the kickflip, there's 4 main steps, I would say, when trying to land it. There's the foot placement, the pop, the flick, and the timing. Alright, so with the first step, which is going to be the foot placement, you want to have your front foot, your heel of it hanging off a little bit. If it's in the complete middle of the board, you're not going to be able to flick that well. You didn't have to cut me off. And with the back foot, it's basically the same as an ollie. I like to have mine, my heel hanging off, not straight down, hanging off like that. But if it's hanging off a tiny bit and angled, with the foot placement that I just showed you, this step is also kind of tied in with the pop. So as you pop, which is, of course, if you're doing a kickflip, you need to at least have ollies mastered. Since your foot is angled, you bend down, pop, and this foot is gonna go right diagonal. It's gonna go from wherever it is around about here. It might even be in the middle a bit more, but just make sure that the bottom of it's angling off so it's easier to flick. Then you're gonna want to flick straight up and diagonal, right around here. And then of course, if you're goofy, it's right around there. If you're doing that right, you should pop and flick right there. You should jump to the side and your kickflip should look something like that. If you seem you can't flip it well, just need to redo those steps. Popping, flicking diagonal, and landing on it. So you have to redo that if your kickflip is looking something like that, or maybe something like this. If you can't seem to flick well or pop well, you just have to repeat those steps. Your back foot should be in the middle, so there should be grip showing. Wherever your toes are pointing, so if you're regular, there should be a little bit of grip showing. Your foot should be pretty much in the middle, like that. The next step is the timing. Again, all of these steps kind of link with each other, obviously because it's the same trick. This is to make sure you don't like that or not flick enough. With this step, it's basically just adding the first 2 completely together. Like I said at the start, it doesn't make much sense, so it's not the first 2, which is foot placement and pop, it's 2 and 3, which is pop and flick. My bad. As you pop, you flick up and making sure that you're flicking diagonal and you're popping straight down. This is a step where a lot of people trying to land their first kickflips can mess up. Either they get the pop wrong or they get the flick wrong and they're not flicking it. As long as you listen to all those steps correctly, you should have a kickflip looking something like this. Alright, that's all the steps. We have the foot placement. So an angled foot with your heel hanging off, your back foot in the middle of the board with your heel up. We have the timing, making sure you're popping and flicking as the board comes up. So the board comes up and you flick diagonal. Then of course, which is linked to timing, we have flick and pop. Pop like an ollie, again your heel hanging off and you're just popping like that. And then the flick, having a diagonal flick, making sure your heel is hanging off so it's easy to flick. Another step I didn't mention, which is quite obvious, is committing. A lot of people that I know that are trying to do a kickflip, they just can't seem to commit. A good way I would suggest is holding on to something, but if there's nothing really that fits you, maybe it's too small and you're like this, or it's way too high and it's still not helping you with the jumping side of it, I would just keep suggesting, of course, not giving up. Again, this tutorial isn't well described, I'm explaining it not that well, but the way I learned them is I had a board without any wheels and I tried to kickflip on that without rolling, and that actually helped me with the jumping side of it. And then I landed it on that and I was like, hang on, I think I might be able to do it now, and then I landed just like that. So that's how I learned them. I didn't mention that, I don't know why, but. And try to land with your front foot and your back foot. So with your front foot like this, and with your back foot like this. Make sure you also stay over your board the whole time. You don't want it to be flicking in front of you too much. And you don't want it to go behind you either. Like that. As long as you have the perfect amount of speed, good pop, good flick, and good foot placement, you should be able to do a kickflip. But like I said, just keep practicing and eventually you'll get it. Like I said at the start, I said if you can also kickflip, this video might be good for getting your technique better. Or maybe if you want to try and clean up your kickflips, then this quick trick tip might help you make them either cleaner or not as rocket. But if your front foot is a bit higher up, the board will only get a little high, and what you do is you flick down a little bit too. You don't just flick diagonally up, then it will go rocket. You're there and you flick down to make it more, you know, boned out. My foot placement for kickflips is about here. My foot placement is about there. I flick out and down a little bit. And if you're trying to clean your kickflips up, the best way is just keep doing them. If you're having a normal skate sesh and you do a couple of kickflips and they seem quite sketch, just keep practicing them that whole time. So aim for the bolts. That's all I can say, aim for the bolts. Another reason your kickflips might be a little sketchy is because they might be rockets. So maybe film them, look at them, and if they're rocket, just do exactly what I said when I talked about them being rocket. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed my trick tutorials, make sure to subscribe and watch this video right here where I teach you how to do a front feel. That's it. See you in the next one.